Okay. I think we can start today's session. So there was some confusion with the class timing. Sorry for that. Actually, I planned for 8:30, but no one was there. But that is okay. That is okay. Okay. So last class we have seen something with the Python, like the serial communication. Then we have seen how to customize a Linux kernel for your robot. Okay, and then today's class we are planning to discuss about some libraries and frameworks. Okay, which can be used while working with robot software. Okay, so these topics are not deep. I mean, we will not discuss in deep, but I just want to give an abstract of these libraries and frameworks. Okay, so this will be useful while working with the robots. Okay, so that is the next chapter, which is learning basics of libraries Qt, OpenCV, and PCL. Okay, OpenCV, I think you may have already heard about OpenCV, and PCL as well, Point Cloud Library. I'm not sure you have worked with Qt. Okay, so the objective is like we will see what is Qt is, then we will see how to program with Qt, and we will see some examples of it. Okay, very basic example. Then we will see OpenCV fundamentals, then PCL for tomorrow. Okay, so that is a plan. So I just want to know how many of you have heard about Qt before, or you have worked with Qt and C++. Anyone work with Qt and C++ before, guys? Okay, Trishant, yes. Okay. So did you create any application using it? What was your experience? Okay. Got it. Okay. Yeah, I think that will be enough. I mean, for yeah. So we are not discussing much in deep, but I can just discuss like where are the areas that we are using Qt specifically, and then OpenCV. I think you may be aware of OpenCV. Stands for Open Source Computer Vision Library, and then PCL for Point Cloud Processing. So let's start with Qt. Okay, so it's a big topic again. So I just wanna take some reference. So to get an introduction, I'm actually using the basic links that we have, like Wikipedia and all. You can itself like learn it, but I'm just giving some links that I interested in. Let me just share with you. Okay, so I'm just giving a link for first setting Qt on Ubuntu 20.04. So that is the first link that I'm giving, and the basic stuff, what is Qt, that is the Wikipedia link. So I'm actually using these links to like talk about Qt and do the stuff. Okay, so yeah, I think these two links are enough for working with Qt, and also the official website of Qt. Okay, so these three links we can use it. So if you just go to qt.io, okay, you can find the Qt website. Okay, so basically what is Qt? Qt is actually like a toolkit or library or like framework in order to create user interfaces or GUI. Okay, I think you have heard about the GUI, right? So basically this is a GUI. Okay, what we have, I mean the browser is a GUI. In VMware this is a GUI. Okay, so GUI, graphical user interface, is like for user interaction, like to make our life easier. Okay, like there are buttons, then there are controls. So if you take the Discord for example, Discord is having a nice GUI. Okay, so the entire window, we can call it as GUI. Okay, yeah, so from the GUI you can easily get start working with the software. Okay, but we have seen the command line as well, right? Command line, using commands you are interacting with the operating system. So that is, I mean, another way of interacting with the PC. So we have command line interface and GUI interface. So while working with robots, mostly we will work on command line when we develop it. Okay, Rohan, can you just unmute? Mute your mic. Okay, thank you. So during the development of the robot, mostly we will be working with the command line interface, like for debugging or like compiling everything, we will be like using command line interface. But if we make a product or prototype, then you should require a user interface, like in order to start, stop, or in order to tune PID, or like doing some important stuff. You may require a front end. That's what the word is. We need a front end, and we can like start the robot, stop the robot, like, and maybe mapping, then localization, and we can perform all the high-end tasks from the GUI itself. Okay, so from the user perspective, that is actually very useful, right? Because he don't need to, worry about the command line, underline command line, or launch files or anything. He just need to like press the buttons for starting the robot and stopping the robot. So creating front end is actually a very useful thing while working with robots. Maybe if you are working in a company, if it is a startup, maybe you have to do everything. But if it is like a bigger company, there may be people working in front end, specifically in front end. Okay, like there is a job opportunity specifically for Qt framework. Okay, like Qt developers. Okay, so Qt is also, we are pronounced as cute. Okay, so that's what we call Qt. Okay, so if you just search about Qt developers, it's, there are a lot of job opportunities in Qt as well. Just check C++, Qt, or QML. Okay, QML is again like a framework like Qt, which is much promising. So you can just see Qt developers, and Qt is not only used for the robotics domain, but in everything like automotive industry, and even when maybe in cars and all, you may have the touch screens, right? So Qt is actually used in some of the touchscreen based interfaces, and also there was a mobile phone which is having Qt based operating system. I think it's introduced by Nokia. Okay, I have worked with that mobile actually. It's actually interesting, but not very responsive. But I was just saying, like, there is even operating system, and even we have KDE desktop. I'm not sure how many of you heard about KDE or Kubuntu. So if you just check Kubuntu operating system, it's the same. Ubuntu operating system, but with a different desktop environment. Okay, I think I have used the desktop environment term before. Basically, the desktop environment means how the desktop looks like. Okay, it's a software actually. It's a desktop software, meaning like I'm working from Windows now, so this is the desktop environment. Okay, I have the start menu, then taskbar, everything, right? So similarly, Ubuntu is having several desktop environment. So one is Genome, or yeah, Genome is one desktop environment, and KDE. Okay, this is KDE, which is, which looks like Windows, right? So it is having start button, and it's very, I mean, it looks good. Compared to Ubuntu desktop environment, KDE looks good, right? So a lot of people are using Kubuntu. Even I have used it, and Kubuntu or KDE desktop environment is heavily dependent on Qt framework, because most of the GUI in KDE is using Qt. Okay, so you can understand how big is this Qt framework. Okay, so KDE is using it, and you can see the desktop environment, right? So you can build this kind of interactive window application using Qt. Okay, it's a very powerful thing for creating GUI. So you can see here in which area we are using Qt. KDE is there, LX Qt. This is for the desktop UI. And in embedded system, there are, even, yeah, now only I remember, like the BlackBerry was like using Qt based operating system, and this was the MeeGo, the operating system that I mentioned. I work with, a Linux based operating system based on Qt, which is using by Nokia, MeeGo. Okay. Which is actually a pretty old one, okay, but it's actually a Linux operating system using Qt. Okay, so I actually work with this operating system. Okay, so I was just saying about like the application of Qt. Okay, generally, okay, mainly for creating GUI, and the company is called the Qt company. So this is a website. These are the guys who are maintaining it. Okay, you can see the history. Actually, there are several acquisition happened. The Qt was founded by a company called Trolltech. Okay, then it is acquired by Nokia. So that's time. This MeeGo operating system, and there are some other operating system from Nokia. They're based off Qt. Okay, then Nokia, actually there was a lot of issues. Nokia, their valuation went down, and then this is a Qt project. Then they another company called Digia acquired it, and again now it's Qt company. Okay, so it's actually like started from Trolltech, and now it's a thing called Qt company. And this software is actually having different licenses. There is an open source GPL license and LGPL license. If we are using, there are different kind of usage. Like if we want to use Qt for open source projects, then I think it's free, but there is a commercial license as well. Okay, and the advantage of using Qt is fundamentally supported by C++. Okay, it's a C++ framework, and the good thing is that it will support in Linux, Windows, Mac OS, Android, and embedded system. So that is, attractive, right? So when you create an application in Qt, you can run in cross-platform, meaning you can run in multiple platforms. Okay, so that is the main attraction, cross-platform, and it can be written mainly in C++. So that means like it can perform well, and also the Qt can be ported to Python. Okay, Qt framework can be like ported. It's already ported. It's called PyQt. Okay, and there is another module in Python called PySide. Okay, it's again based on Qt. Okay, so you can work with Qt mainly with C++, Python. Okay, so that is the primary languages that we are focusing, right? So both are supported Qt. Okay, and when we discuss rows, there is a interface in rows with Qt. Okay, so that is another attraction point, meaning if you want to create GUI, okay, if you want to create GUI, then you don't need to write Qt programs from foundation level or from scratch. Instead of that, we can create plugins. Okay, if you know Qt library and Qt APIs, you can write plugins and then you can visualize the plugins like this. Actually, in ROS there is a tool called RQT. Maybe I can just show you. Don't worry, this is a ROS thing. If you already know ROS, then it's fine. But I'm just showing a application of Qt in ROS. So RQT is actually an application available in ROS by default. And the good thing is that this is actually a plain window, right? Plain window. So now you can add plugins into it. Okay, I think you know the word called plugins, right? You can just add it in the runtime. So these kind of plugins, like, you can add to the window, and like these plugin can be used to control the robot. Okay, so that is one plugin, and these plugin can be used to visualize an image. Okay, so if you want to control a robot from ROS, you can either write a code from scratch, that is pretty okay, but the best thing is if you can write or develop a plugin, then you can easily load it from this list. Okay, so that is the advantage of knowing Qt. So that's why I included this topic in the syllabus. Okay, so just give an introduction to Qt, so that while working with RQT plugins and all, you will not have any confusion. You don't need to learn from scratch. At least you know this framework and you know how the architecture or structure is. Okay, so RQT is one thing, and also while working with ROS there is RViz. Okay, this is again based on Qt. Okay, so if you have ROS and like if you just enter RViz, you will get a tool, okay, GUI. Okay, this is one of the primary tool that we are using in ROS for visualization purpose. Okay, so this is completely based in Qt. Okay, and the good thing is that you can fully customize this tool. Okay, for example, there are some tools here. Okay, you can write a new tool for you. There are some visualization plugins here. You can write a new one. There is a panels available like this. You can write a new panel. Okay, so everything is customizable. Everything can be added. I mean, new things can be added into RViz. Okay, so I hope you understood why we are discussing Qt in this course. Okay, because mostly while working with ROS, you will encounter the application of Qt. Okay, yes. So now we just discussed like Qt is a GUI framework mainly based in with C++, and currently the latest version is 6.2.2, but I think we are working with Qt 5, okay, which is having long-term support. Okay, then yeah, it is mainly using desktop UI, embedded system and everything. Okay, so now let's check how to set up Qt on Ubuntu. Okay, so that is the next thing. So let me close all these things. And you can take the first link that I have given, this one. Okay, so this link is having a step-by-step procedure to set up the Hello World program in Qt. Okay, after running the Hello World, I will give an explanation how the things work. Okay, I mean, I was working with Qt, I think yeah, I started working in Qt I think in 2010 or something. 2010. It's a long, I mean, I started working on that, and then the thing is that the problem with the technology is once you start working, then you will have an idea. Okay, then if you stop working on it for a long time, then you will forget something. So I think I have worked with Qt RQT plugins 2 years before. Okay, so I forgot a lot of things, but I have an understanding as well. Okay, not deep, but yeah, I can understand most of the stuff. Okay, yes. So let's see how to set up Qt on your computer. Okay, I hope you have Ubuntu 20.04. These are based on 18.04, but I have just tested, and currently I could able to install the Qt creator and everything on my PC, which is having 20.04. Okay, so the first step is like we already have the build essential package, installing build essential. Okay, so just copy paste the things that is only required. It's already, I already set up, but I can able to show you. So the important package is build essential. I think I already mentioned this package. The build essential is having the important stuff like G++, then the library std. So main libraries related to the C++. Okay, so I think you already have the build essential package. Okay, after that we can install the Qt creator or Qt creator. Okay, so Qt creator is an IDE, mostly like an IDE. I hope you know what is an IDE is, integrated development environment. Basically, I mentioned that Qt is primarily based on C++. Okay, so Qt creator is an IDE for Qt in which you can program. Okay, you can create projects, you can start writing code in C++, you can build it, then you can debug it. As much as features for an IDE. It's all the features, most of the features available with Qt creator, and even we can use Qt creator as an separate IDE. If you want to develop ROS application, maybe you can use Qt creator. Okay, so that's this command Qt creator. It will take some time to install. Okay, so no need to worry, you can simply follow this instruction. So I already installed Qt creator, and this is the Qt creator. Okay, you can able to see the Qt creator here, which is very similar to an IDE. On IDE you can see like a project here, then there is a CPP file, then there is an option to run it. So this is the output, then there is an option to debug, then there is an option to configure the project, and it's very easy to work with. And the best thing is there is an auto completion. It's very effective, and yeah, it's a very good IDE. Okay, very good IDE. So that's what the Qt creator. So we have to install the Qt creator. Okay, so after that we can set Qt5 as default. Okay, so Qt creator is basically installing the Qt creator application, but if you want to install the library, Qt5 library, you can install this package, Qt5 default. So we are going to play with Qt5. Okay, the advantage of working with Qt5 is it is LTS, meaning long-term support. So even if we develop an application using an LTS software, we will get support up to maybe 5 years. Okay, so meaning if you create an application after 5 years also, like, it will work smoothly without any much compatibility issues. Okay, and after that you have to install some documentation, but that is pretty okay. It's optional. Yeah, that's it. Okay, so that's for setting Ubuntu, Qt on Ubuntu. Okay, so we are good to go. And now they are mentioning two types of procedure to work with Qt. So as I mentioned, Qt is a C++ based project, okay, and Qt is giving us with lot of libraries, okay. So meaning you can include the header files of Qt on your program, okay. Then you can like access all the Qt libraries and Qt APIs, okay, and then you can simply call them, and then you can implement Qt based application. So mostly when you work with C++ based framework or Python based framework, what ultimately we are doing is we are importing their modules. In this case, we are importing Qt modules, okay. We are including Qt modules in our code. Then we are calling their APIs, like for creating a window, writing a text on the window, okay. We are doing that. Then we are compiling it, building it, okay. Just a second, guys. Okay, so so there are two ways to work with a Qt project. One is with the command line, one is with the IDE. Okay, it's a C++ project, right? So you can build it and execute it. Okay, the advantage of working with the IDE is it's very easy, easy to debug, easy to find errors. Okay, but if you are comfortable in command line, then you can work in a command line way as well. Okay, even if you work with IDE, you can switch into command line anytime. Okay, so before going to the sample project, that is a Hello World project, I just want to discuss about the build system or build tools in C++. Okay, so while we discuss the C++ basics, we have seen two tools in Linux, make and CMake, right? And I mentioned that the CMake is what we require the most because ROS packages are mainly based on CMake. Okay, so they are using CMake and some other Python script in order to build the ROS packages. Okay, yeah, and make is what make is that like the CMake is actually called the cross-platform make. Okay, meaning we can create the make file for Linux, then Visual Studio projects for Windows. Okay, so like we can generate the build file for specific operating system. Okay, so in case of Qt, it's not make, it's not CMake, but it's QMake. Okay, so it's almost same as or almost similar to CMake. Okay, but I will say it's much simpler. Okay, it's much simpler than CMake. Okay, so for building Qt projects, we need to use a build tool called QMake. Okay, you can simply Google it, QMake. So QMake is the I will say QMake is a CMake for Qt. Okay, so what we are doing is we have to execute the QMake command in order to convert the QMake or the project file of Qt into a make file. Okay, so if you have a make file, then you can build the project using make command. Okay, so I'm just creating a sample project, a Hello World project in Qt. Okay, and then first I will show with the command line. I'm simply following the instructions. Okay, then I will show the different things in Qt using the IDE. Okay, so first I'm just creating a sample project. Okay, let me check if it is already there. Okay, maybe I'm just creating a sample project. Okay, I'm just creating sample Qt. Okay, just creating a folder. Okay, then I'm just going inside. Okay, then I'm just creating a C++ file. Okay, sample. Maybe I can just give nano space main.cpp. Okay, and then I'm just copy pasting this hello world program. Okay, I will explain it later. So what we did was just created a folder, then copy pasted this hello world code into a file. Okay, and then yeah, so we have saved the file in main.cpp. Okay, then the next step is creating a project file, okay, for QMake. So if you just enter QMake, okay, which is a command for building or converting into a make file, QMake space -project. So what it will does is that it will create a .pro file, that is a project file with the same as the folder name. Okay, so this is the project file. Okay, so ultimately what we are doing is, using QMake, we are converting the .pro file into a make file. Okay, we are not replacing the .pro, but we are creating a new make file from the .pro file. Okay, but as a user or a developer, we just want to configure the .pro file. Okay, and the .pro file is actually very simple. Okay, this is the .pro template. Okay, you can see, and you just want to enter one thing, okay, that I can explain after this. Okay, then on the bottom we just want to mention the CPP file. Okay, CPP file, yes, that's it. Okay, so here the target means the after building the Qt project, the executable name will be sample_Qt, and the Qt, this means actually for this project, for our project, we need Qt library. Like there is a different classes inside the Qt framework. Okay, one of the classes are not modules. Okay, Qt is a big framework, and inside that there are separate modules. So there is a GUI, there is a widget, so these all are separate modules. So we just need these two modules. Okay, so that's why we have included this, and then we just want to mention the source files. Okay, currently I only have one, then I just added and saved it. Then in order to convert the .pro file to make file, just enter this command. Very simple, like QMake space project file. Okay, and it's created. That's it. So when you do the ls, you can find the make file. Okay, so we have the make file now, and then just enter the make command, and then using the G++, it's compiling. But just look at the G++ command here. You can see a lot of libraries. Okay, so you can execute a G++ command like this. Okay, G++ command is not a simple command. You can find lot of arguments. Okay, like you can mention the include folder, then library path, everything you can mention here. Okay, so after the make command, you can able to see the executable, and if you do /sample_Qt hello world. Okay, so this is our first hello world Qt program. So you can see there is a window, okay, and there is a text here. You can minimize it, you can open it. Okay, and inside this you can put a lot of stuff like buttons, slider, as Trushant mentioned, you can put sliders, and then so when you move the slider, you can read that value and then you can do something. Okay, so everything is like GUI based programming. I mean, like when you click a button you have to execute something. Okay, so all these things can be programmed. Okay, so this is the first program, I mean hello world program, I will say, with the Qt through the command line. Okay, so basically I just want to show you the code. So basically you can find the hello world code doesn't have the IO stream or anything. It is only having Qt header files. Okay, so there is a header files like Q application, okay, which is actually required for creating an application. Then Q label, it's for handling a label. You have seen the hello world text, right? So in order to put a text, there is a Q label. Then the whole window, we can add widgets into it. Widgets is like, I mean, you can add it and you can drag and drop it. Okay, like that. So like you can add a widget like this and then you can add it. Okay, so Qt, there is a provision to add widgets. Okay, so in order to add a widget, you need Q widget. Okay, so you can check the Qt documentation. So this is a very extensive documentation Qt have, and Qt actually mentioned all the things like the modules inside Qt. Okay, and let me just I mean, there are good books as well. I actually reviewed some of the Qt based book. I think Qt books Apress. Let me check one of the book I have reviewed. I think it's very foundation level. Let me check. Beginning by Qt. Yeah. So this was the one. This was one of the book I have reviewed. Beginning by Qt. You can see it here, and this is actually a very nice one. Okay, but the thing is that it's actually based on PyQt. Okay, not C++. Okay, so I actually reviewed this book. You can and the author is also like, he's also having another book called Modern PyQt. I am the reviewer of this book as well. So this book is also like very good. It's actually, he is actually demonstrating some interesting examples. Okay, so that was also good. Yes, so there are many books available for reference. Okay, but in order to get the official documentation, I think I need to check. I mean, there are many, so which one we have to follow, that I will share with you. There are many examples, and yeah, it's actually very big. Okay, I will share these things. Yeah, Qt C++. See, just check how many classes are available in Qt. Okay, this much classes are available, so you can simply take this class and create application. Okay, yes. So now you can see how the Qt creator works. Okay, so before that I was just explaining the code. So mainly in a Qt code, you can see almost all functions are based on Qt only. Okay, so here we are seeing another what will I say, like another way of writing C++ program. It's not a way, but currently we are handling with APIs or like functions only. Classes, like here there is a class called QLabel. We are creating an object of QLabel. Then we are like calling the function inside the QLabel called setWindowTitle. Okay, then another function. So this is what I mentioned, like the importance of understanding object oriented concept. Okay, Qt programming can be only done if you have a good concept of object-oriented concepts. Okay, so here it's very simple. It's simply creating an application and then setting the window title as my first Qt program, meaning the title of this window, you can see the title is my first Qt program. Okay, that is the window title. And then and then just showing it. Okay, so that is the program, and the size of the window is 400. Maybe I can just make it as 1920 into 1080. Just see how it works. And after doing the modification, what you have to do is you have to make it. Okay, simply make it. It will compile and then sample Qt, and then you can see a big window by default. Okay, yes, so yeah, and then it will show it, and this is for execution. So I'm not explaining all the APIs, but just understand that this is how a Qt program looks like. Okay, and we'll come to the APIs and all. Yeah. So now we can see the Qt creator. So if you have the Qt creator, if you install Qt creator on your PC, just search for like Qt. So you can find Qt creator, Qt file designer, okay, an assistant, which is for help, okay, and Qt file designer and Qt creator. I can explain what is Qt file designer is first. So I mentioned that Qt is a GUI framework. Okay, so Qt is having features to create a GUI file and then program based on that GUI. Okay, so basically what happening is that Qt GUI is an XML file. Okay, I'm sure that you heard about the XML. Okay, maybe I can show you. So let me create a Qt GUI. Okay, GUI. Okay, it's only having the elements. Okay, it's not intelligent, it's not program. Maybe I can just add a button here, then I can add hello. So this is, I'm using the Qt designer only. Okay, so there is a button. Okay, and then I'm just saving this GUI. Okay, so in Qt, the GUI, the window is actually stored in a file called .ui file. Okay, .ui file. Okay, so this is an example for .ui file, which is basically like a XML file. Okay, XML. I can show you that. Yes. So if you just create a UI file, you can find an XML file. Okay, so this is a foundation of a Qt GUI. Okay, the GUI or the layout of the GUI, okay, is stored in an XML file. Okay, and then what happening is that this XML file can be converted into C++ class and Python class. Okay, meaning this XML file is getting converted into corresponding C++ handle and Python handle, meaning from C++ we can access this hello button, from Python we can access the hello button. Okay, and when we press this button, okay, when we press button, we can call a function. Okay, so these are the things that we require, right? We need to put a button like push me. Okay, so when we click this button, then something has to trigger, right? So that is what we want. So basically the UI file will have the main content. Okay, you can put a lot of stuff into it. You can like add a progress bar. Okay, you can add progress bar, then slider. If you want the dial, you can put it. Then slider is there, vertical slider is there, and if you want to just visualize this GUI, you can do that. Okay, and also you can do some some quick stuff like let me try rate change or slider move, set value. I can show you some magic. Okay, so you can see when I'm moving the slider, okay, it's actually the slider position is setting as the progress bar position. Okay, so like we can connect these GUI element. There are some methods to do that. Okay, so I can discuss that. The concept of Qt I will explain after this. I just shown the some examples. Just a sec. You can see like when I'm moving a slider, it's moving all these things. Okay, so I will explain the foundation of Qt. I'm not sure I can complete this, but I will explain the foundation, and then I think we can conclude. Okay, so I'm just closing the Qt Designer. The Qt Designer, the objective of the Qt Designer software is we can create UI file. Okay, only UI file, and also we can connect these elements. Okay, we can connect the elements. Okay, so there is a concept to be discussed, so just understand that Qt Designer is for designing a UI. Okay, and you can design any any number of UI, and you can save it as .ui file. Okay, I just want to minimize it, and I just want to come into Qt Creator, and then just want to show like how to create a basic project in Qt. Okay, so it's simple, like take the Qt Creator and then projects, then new. Okay, and then you can create a Qt widget application. Okay, so this is a Qt console application, mainly like working in command line. Then there is a Qt for Python is there by default, Qt for Python. Okay, these are all our new add-ons, I will say. So we need to go for Qt widget. Okay, then choose this project and then give like Qt Lentin test, something like that. Okay, then I'm giving next. This is like a wizard. Okay, and then you can select the build system, QMake by default. I think now we can use a CMake as well. I mean, we can use CMake as well. Okay, we can use Qt in CMake, but QMake is the default build system and easier one. Okay, CMake will be little bit complicated than QMake. Okay, so they are suggesting QMake, and then but in some scenario, for example, you are working with a ROS package, okay, or a C++ project which is primarily based on CMake. Okay, so in that scenario, you can add Qt library in CMake as well. Okay, so if you are only working with a Qt project, I will prefer QMake, but you can add the Qt library into CMake as well. Okay, so now going with QMake, and then it is asking for like creating some files, like the UI file for this project is main-window.ui. Okay, so for every Qt GUI project, there should be a UI file. Okay, and there is a header files and source file. Okay, and there will be a main.cpp as well, and there is a class as well. So the base class that we are using is main window. Okay, we can change into QWidget, or like, I mean, window is like the if we are using the base class as main window, we will get a window only. But widget is actually different. Widget means we can attach several widgets into it. Okay, we can drag and drop it. Those kind of thing is widget. And Q dialog is like the, I mean, press OK or cancel, those kind of thing. Okay, so each having its own, I mean, use cases. Okay, so here I think they are going with let me see, window only. Okay, just for the demonstration. So Q main window, and then language, oh, no need to select, then desktop, press next. Then if you want to add a git, then you can add it, and then finish. Your project is started. Okay, so you can just see the structure. When you create a project, you can see the .pro file. Okay, this very similar, but here you don't need to change anything, because by default they added the Qt modules that we are going to use. Then if you want to change the C++ version, we can change it. Then it is also mentioning the source files here, then header files, then the UI file. Okay, everything is there. Okay, and here you can see a class, then the main dot and .h. Okay, so how is it working? You may have confusion. So I think if you remember our first C++ project, there is an add project which is having add.h and add.cpp, and then there is a main.cpp. Okay, so it's the same structure. Like there is a main.cpp in which which is using a class from the add project that we have seen. So in this case we have a class called main window. Okay, and inside this main window we can do any stuff, and in the main.cpp we are creating an object of the main window and just calling w.show. That's it. Okay, so so when you just if you want to run it, there is an option on the left side. There is an option to debug this project, and there is an option to release this project. Meaning the release means we are going to release this project and distribute it. Okay, in debug mode we are primarily target for like finding the logical error. Okay, if you have any issue with some section of the code, then you can put in the debug mode. But we will only deploy the code once you want to release this. Then we have to do the build in release mode. Okay, after doing the release mode, you can just click the run. So basically it will build on the right bottom. You can see a build output, and also you can see the compile output here. On the bottom there is a compile output compile output option. Okay, so you can just toggle and you can find the g++ command and it's executing it. Okay, so this is a window. Okay, so and also you can just add the code that we have done, which is this. You can simply copy paste this code into the main.cpp. Okay, and then saving it and then clicking it, and then let me see. Yes, we got the same output. Okay, so that is the Qt creator. So basically we can add the program, and the good thing is that we will get the auto completion, which is very useful. So you can see, like, I can create the Qt widget and then test. I mean, I'm creating an object, then I will get auto completion, but it will take, I think, some time, but by default it will get. Okay, so that was the one of the advantages that I have seen with Qt creator. Okay, so now we have just seen how to create a project in Qt through creator and command line. Okay, I think I need to discuss some more concept, like some fundamentals. Okay, so that will be really useful while creating a Qt application. Okay, so I think that we can discuss tomorrow. I hope we can discuss OpenCV also tomorrow. There are many tutorials available with OpenCV, but mostly the tutorials are available for Python. We will see with C++. Okay, so that's it for today. We have discussed the basic stuff of Qt. Okay, I have this book as well, Beginning of PyQt, which is very good. Yeah, you can see a lot of books are there for Qt. Okay, yes, so if you have any question regarding today's session, just let me know. Otherwise we can conclude, and then tomorrow's session we can continue, I mean, some concept with Qt, and then go with OpenCV and PCL. Okay, let me know, like, if you have any questions with Qt. Any question, guys? Yeah. Any questions? Yeah, so that's a good question. The thing is that like there is a module which is actually, there are two approaches actually in Python. Actually the Qt C++ library is ported into PyQt, and there is PySide, which is entirely written from scratch. Okay, so these are the two modules present in Python with Qt. I mean Qt with Python support. Okay, so in order to work with basic projects, like in order to trigger a button or like visualize, I mean, both are okay. But if you want to do some processing, okay, then obviously there is a language advantage for C++. Okay, and it will be like little more responsive. Okay, so if you are going with a big project, I will be suggesting C++. But if you want to just control, like if you want to teleoperate and do some symbol plotting and all, then Python will be fine. Okay, PyQt will be fine. And if you know, like the RQT, okay, RQT actually mostly is based on Python. Okay, if you check RQT code, mostly it's based on Python. And now we have the C++ plugin as well, but you can see it's mostly into Python. Okay, so RQT, using RQT we can do a lot of stuff, right? So why they are doing with Python, I think there will not be much difference I mean, in case of performance, but I prefer C++ in case of, like, if you are independently doing a project with Qt. Okay, but yeah, for while writing RQT plugin as well, if I'm doing some computation, I will prefer RQT GUI CPP based plugins. Okay, so we can write plugins on RQT in C++ and Python. Okay, so yeah, so that is the that is what I am doing. But I think, I mean, most of the simple scenarios, or like average, or I mean, for a workflow, I think Python and C++ work will, I mean, both will work almost the same. Yes. Is that I mean, did you got Trishant? Is it fine? Okay. Yeah. Okay. I think now I think we can conclude today's session. Tomorrow, what I'm planning is discuss about the concepts like slot signals and slots in Qt, which is very useful while working with RQT plugins, and then jump into OpenCV introduction, and then basics of OpenCV, and give some reference, because OpenCV is a library, and you can I mean, there is not much complexity other than understanding the image processing concept. Okay, that should be there. and then PCL. So OpenCV and PCL comes in the same category. One is for a 2D image and one is for a 3D point cloud. That is the main difference. That's it. Okay, so let's see we can finish that tomorrow. Okay, so yes, that's it, guys. So see you tomorrow. A good night, everyone. And then yeah, so if just post doubts if you have any. Okay, okay then. Bye everyone. Bye. Good night.